What's up, you guys? So I just did the last video, advice to children and parents. We coming out of Ephesians. That was chapter 6. This video right here is chapter 5, verses 21 through 33. We can already talk about this thing when it comes to husband and wives, because it's like men and women don't know their roles. And then actually one of the couples that I actually liked off of Instagram, and this is the reason why you don't glorify these couples you see on there, because you know, a lot of people giving them backlash because they putting their business out there, talking about they might be getting a divorce and stuff, and they just had a vow renewal like last month. And you know, a lot of people put their faith into that couple because, you know, they seem like a beautiful family and all it is, but no one is perfect, and people got to stop doing it. You cannot glorify these couples. I did like the couple, and I do believe that woman, you know, you never know, because she does look angry. She to me, she always looks sad or unhappy. And I think it's because God does not dwell within your marriage. And this is what I'm doing this video to talk about. Like Bishop Blake said that day, like, it's a lot of couples in wedlock. You guys are married, but you're wedlocked. You're not in a marriage because God is not at the forefront of the marriage on a consistent daily basis. On a consistent daily basis. Daily, hence daily, not weekly, not 2 times a week for the people who go to church on Sundays and maybe Bible study on a Wednesday. It's about daily, incorporating God daily into your union. This is what I'm saying now at the point I'm in, when I finally, if I finally do get to that point where I'm ready to meet someone, we have to be able to pray every day. We have to put God first every day in our life, because I put God first every day in my life. Every day I get up, I'm talking to God. And if I can't pray with my husband, we can talk together every day and we can commune with God every day, then I don't want to be with you. And that's the problem with a lot of these marriages. They're not marriages. People are coming together because it's supposed to be this whole 2-parent households are better than broken homes things, when a lot of these 2-parent households are the same households that has created tragedy within the community. Especially I'm talking as a black community. Tragic. It's created tragedy. And why? It's because the 2 that was in the household, they didn't have God within the union. If God is not within your union, and a lot of times God did not bring these marriages together, how can God have brought you 2 together and you 2 not even both in the same belief of God? You both don't even talk to God. You both don't even have a relationship, not a religion. What do I keep preaching? It's about relationship. I didn't know none of this word, none of this stuff that I'm now learning. I got the relationship with God first. Then he showed me his word. He led me to this book. Basic instructions before leaving earth. King James Version. They say this is the rawest that it get. But I really wish I can get a copy of the original Bible. And like some people I be seeing on here, on YouTube or social media, and they be talking about how they have older Bibles and how some of the words have changed. And we about to read this, because 2 words that throw me off in this point in my life is church and Christianity. I just told y'all I'm exposing Christianity. Christianity is, I honestly believe, the devil's religion. And just like I said, the devil is running rampant in God's kingdom because he didn't watered stuff down. And just like the game of telephone, if y'all ever played a game of telephone, you tell a message to a person, but by the time it gets to the 10th person, the whole dang on story done changed. And it's the same way with this Bible. I be feeling like that's what initially got me on my walk with God too, because I questioned if the Bible was real. I'm like, this stuff is man-made. Anything that a man makes, a human, you know, not necessarily a man, but anything a human makes, we're humans. We're naturally faulty. We naturally make mistakes. We're human. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to misconstrue things. And I feel like that's why I was saying in the last video, a lot of us read the word, but we can't comprehend it. And I just be feeling like with what they have done to Christianity, like, look at what, like, it's a lot of reasons why I feel about Christianity. Look what Christianity has done to the black community. not even just to our community, but to, because it's not just the blacks that go through it. Me seeing these narcissist videos, it's not just us that go through this stuff. Many other races that come from 2-parent households go through these same things. And because God was never in the marriage, 2 people who liked each other, who was looking for companionship, who might have liked the flesh of the person. They might not have liked the soul of the person, but you like the flesh of that person. The flesh of that person is what attracted you to that person. And that's what you say, okay, I'm so in love with this person because of, I love the flesh. I love how she looked. I love how he looked. I love how he put it on me. I love what's between her legs. That's what kept me bonded with the person. Then I had a baby with this person, and because God said you're not supposed to have children out of wedlock, you just married the person. But you don't even know if y'all souls were supposed to be connected. This is why it's a lot of divorce, because people are marrying for all the wrong reasons. You marrying because this person say, oh, this is what it should be, because your mama and daddy said this is what it should be, or you grew up in this 2-parent toxic household and this is what they said it should be. But nonetheless, listen, I ain't even get to the message yet. So let's read it. We are coming out of Ephesians, and let's get into it. We coming out of Ephesians chapter 5, verses 21 through 33. So it says, submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of God. Rule number one. Submit yourselves to one another. It says to one another. One to another in the fear of God. Meaning you both are in fear of, if you don't submit to one another, if you don't abide by the rules that y'all supposed to abide by each other, that you're going to feel God's wrath. Let's continue. Wives, submit yourself unto your own husbands as to the Lord. So the same way, if you have this relationship with the Lord, if you give the Lord your full and undivided attention, you also give your husband that full and undivided attention. You also cooperate with your husband. If you're going to cooperate, because submission is cooperation. If you're going to submit and cooperate with the Lord, you also submit and cooperate to your husband, because man was made in the image of God. That's the issue. We're going to get into it. Because as it goes on, we're going to talk about that. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body. Let's run that back. For the husband is the head of the wife, husband, wife, Christ. This is the hierarchy here. But let's get back to it. For the husband is the head of the wife. Husband, wife. Husband is the head, wife is the neck. We're going to get to that analogy later. Even as Christ is the head of the church. So, therefore, as the church, for husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church. So Christ is the head of the people. At least he's supposed to be. We're supposed to follow Christ. But it says, husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. Because Jesus did. He gave himself for all of us, because he knew we were sinning. He was the only one that was the righteous and without sin. Wasn't even born through sin. He the only one, and he gave his life for us. So the same way, men, husbands, you're supposed to give your life for your wife, for your family. All this narcissist stuff that these men got going on in these households and these marriages, and think everything's supposed to just be about them, and women's supposed to submit, and y'all thinking that submission just naturally means that, oh, whatever I say goes, even if it's not for the better fit of the family. That's not how that works. That's not what this right here means. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. You give yourself for your wife, that he may sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of the water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having a spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it would be holy and without blemish. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. And to me, that's a major problem, because a lot of these men don't even love themselves. You don't even love yourself. If you don't love yourself, no woman can pour into you and make you feel a way if you don't even feel that way about yourself. That's why I have learned in my own situation. You pouring into this man, if he don't feel it within himself, it don't matter how much you try to tell him he's handsome, he's powerful, he has so much potential, he is smart, he is strong, he is brave. If he don't feel that about himself, it don't matter what you keep pouring into him, because he don't feel it. Just like with us, it don't matter how much a man may say you beautiful, but if I don't feel beautiful myself, if I don't like my own body, if I don't like the own blemishes I might have, if I don't like these things about myself, whatever my man telling me, it's like, oh, it sounds good, yes, it's nice, I like to hear it, but deep down inside, I don't feel it. I'm not in alignment with your word, which is what they saying here, that he may sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of the water by the word. Like, literally, being in alignment, being cleansed through the word, being in alignment with this exact word of God, being in alignment with the words. You can speak those words, but if I'm not in alignment, if my soul is not in alignment with those words, what good is it? What good is it? If I don't feel that way about myself, if your husband, if your man don't feel this way about himself, it don't matter what you pour out. He ain't going. It's like water in a dead plant. The plant already dead. It don't matter how much you water it now. That plant ain't coming back alive because it's dead. The roots is damaged already. The soil is already just dried up. The seed is rotted. It's dead. Meaning you have to pour into yourself as a man. And the way to pour into yourself is you getting right with God. You reading the word of God, building that relationship with him. Not just reading his word, but praying to him, talking to him. After you read the word, if you don't understand the word, talk to God. Pray to him for clarity on the word. And this is the problem. But let's finish reading. So ought men to love their wives as they love their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. You can't love your wife if you don't love yourself. Period. That's why I ain't even about to talk about my stuff. For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourished it and cherished it, even as the Lord the church. You don't love if you love your flesh, which is your body, you don't hate your own body. You nourish it and cherish it. You pour into you. You get yourself, like a lot of men do, you gonna put your smell good on. You gonna put the drip on, put your watch on, put on everything that you feel that makes you look good in the flesh. So if you gonna make your flesh look good, you need to nourish that soul too. What good is it do? What is the saying in here? I don't know exactly which one, but what good is it for a man to lose his soul and gain everything else? To gain everything else of the world, the materials, all these things. They don't make you happy when your soul is rotten. For we are members of his body, of his flesh and his bones. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. This is another issue. So many of us, so many men and women, husband and wives, you so worried about what your mama and daddy got to say. What does it say here? A man shall leave his father and mother and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. Shall be one. You don't let your mama and your daddy interfere with what you and your wife are doing. If you guys are truly one, if you guys are truly in alignment, if God truly called y'all to one another, if it's truly a God-ordained marriage, can't nobody break that up. Can't nobody get into y'all heads if y'all truly are one. But that's a lot of these dudes' problems. You so worried about what your mama think about the girl, and what your friends think about your wife, and what they got to say about your wife, and what this one think, and what that one think. And the same for us as women. We so worried about what our friends think, and what our mamas think, who ain't happy in her own life. Your daddy think, who ain't happy in his own life. He done settled for this, and wants you to settle too. And let's be clear, a lot of men do settle. Look at homeboy I was talking about in the video, though. He said he hated that he had to marry outside of his race. So why you married a woman? Cause she seemed more cooperative than your own. If you hated that you had it, you should have never did that. That means that you in it for your own personal gain more so than I met this woman. I just initially just liked her. Nah, you did it because, well, she the opposite of what I come from. I don't like these black women, so let me go with her. I ain't really that interested into her, but she seemed more sweet. At least she's nicer and more cooperative than my own, so I'm gonna just deal with her. So many men settle too, bro, and that don't get talked about enough. So many men settle because by the time y'all get ready to settle down, y'all go with what's easy and what's near y'all. Not for who you truly, really desire, which is why a lot of us women, we be with these men, and then when he on the up and up, he'll leave you behind because he ain't what you really want. You ain't what he really wanted anyway. You were just around on a time that was beneficial to him, and he used you to get to the next level. He used you, and whatever you was pouring into him, he used that to get himself to a good place. And then when he finally to the place and got the success that he want, he gonna finally go after the woman he really wanted. And which is why it leaves a lot of us heartbroken is that. Nevertheless, I'll say, this is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church. Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife, even as himself, and the wife see that she reverence her husband. What does reverence mean? Deep respect for someone or something. So nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife, even as himself, and the wife see that she respect her husband. Meaning, all right, I gotta lift it up because she up now. I don't want y'all seeing the boob come out. So what is this saying? If man love his wife as he love himself, then the woman automatically gonna respect you. If you cherish her the way you cherish yourself, if you put her wants just as much if you put her wants and needs in the same sense of you put your own wants and needs with these narcissists, it's all about him and what he want and what he need. And even if it's a woman that's all about what she want and what she need, but it's never about, okay, what do my man want? What do my man need from me? What do my husband need from me? This is the issue. But when a wife, what does it say here? So love his wife even as himself, and the wife see that she reverence her husband, which means to respect him, to put him on that pedestal as he's supposed to be anyway. But for her to put you on that pedestal, you must first love her as you love yourself. Treat her the way you would want to be treated. And not that narcissistic stuff is, oh, it's only about what I want. Oh, you only submit to me and cooperate with me, but I don't cooperate with you. It says in the beginning of it, I already broke that down in the beginning, submit yourselves one to another in the fear of God. See, the men be missing that. Y'all be missing that part. This is what I'm saying. A lot of the people, it's selective hearing and selective reading, selective listening. You choose the parts that best benefit you, like narcissists do. Self-centered. It's all about you. Just like I said in the parents and child video. Parents choose the only, like my mama, choose the verse that only benefits you as the parent. But you didn't read the part that benefit the child too. So, basically, the overall message of this video, y'all, is to put God first. There's no way you in a marriage and y'all don't even discuss God on a day-to-day. Y'all don't even pray together on a day-to-day. Y'all don't have to go into no church to fellowship. And just like with the couple on here, people in the comments, oh, y'all need to go talk to, like the couple I was just telling y'all about in the beginning of this video. People are telling them, oh, y'all need to go to the church. Y'all need to go see y'all pastor. These Christians, bruh. It's just sickening, and it irritates me, honestly, just to see that people really don't have a real relationship with God. People have a religion. Y'all put more faith in the pastor. What is the commandment number 1? Oh, look how God just flipped me right to the 10 commandments. Look, flip me right to the 10 commandments. What is commandment number 1? Thou shalt have no other gods before me. No other gods. No other gods. And y'all treat your pastors as if they're God. Your pastor is not God. Your pastor is flesh. Your pastor make mistakes just like you make mistakes, because we are flesh and we are without sin. We're going to sin, each and every last one of us. You don't put your faith in no human. You take that to God. Your pastor is not God. He ain't nothing like God. He might be a little bit like him, and to a degree. Because I told y'all, God is definitely a narcissist. But like I said before, God is supposed to be the only narcissist, and he can be a narcissist because he created this world. He put each and every last one of us on this earth. He created Adam. He put Jesus into Mary. Even with that whole thing, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, when I look up the beliefs that the Islamics believe, they believe that Jesus was created in the same way that Adam was created. And I got to get to that part in the Bible, because I was reading a little bit yesterday, but like with Joseph, and I told y'all, like, I relate to Joseph. I know Joseph is definitely, I know I'm a descendant, obviously, on the Joseph side, because the way I relate to Joseph so much, and I know I'm an Israelite, and a lot of us blacks, I feel like, are Israelites. He the one, like, just like, that's a whole different video, but I already said that one time before. The same way, what does this say right here? Under the 10 commandments, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. We're black people. We were in bondage, which is slavery, and he freed us. Everybody give the props to Harriet Tubman, but when you go research Harriet Tubman, what was she? I talked about her in a couple videos back with this whole what's about to happen to the United States, and how that the Russians are using Harriet Tubman's very own underground railroads. They about to use her same escape routes to plot terror on us. And how I feel like stuff be going on that Underground Railroad with these devils, with the 1% that be doing trafficking. I really feel like they be using, it's a lot of stuff that go on that port right there. It's a lot of stuff, but it's multiple Underground Railroads. But I really feel like that main one up against the Appalachian Mountains, I talked about that in another video. This video already 30 minutes long, y'all. But no other gods before God. Your pastor is not God. Your mama and daddy is not God. No bishop, ministers, none of these people are God. Your mentor, your therapist, none of those people are God. You go into all of these fleshly made people. They are not God. Yes, you can get encouragement and wisdom from them. Yes, they may be able to teach you something just like a teacher does. But you still take that and you take it to God. You confirm that very thing that they're saying. You confirm that with God in prayer and in fasting, which is what I'm learning about this fasting thing. I'm on day 1 of this fasting, y'all. And I'm actually doing pretty good. It's 6 o'clock, y'all. Like yesterday I tried to do it and I was dying. It's 6:38 p.m. and I'm doing good. And I'ma just, after this, I'm gonna finish working on my stuff. I've just been trying to keep busy so I don't even think about eating. But I'm actually doing good. Like, I'm doing good with this. But yeah, y'all, that's it for this video. You know, I'm gonna be talking about this, but your pastor is not God. That's rule number 1. These Christian folk got y'all thinking that, oh, go to the church. You having problems in your marriage, just go to the church. Like I was saying about the couple. All of a sudden, she at the church with the kids. Where your husband at? This is what I'm saying. One person can't fix no marriage. If y'all having marital issues, because the husband posted on the Instagram that divorce has been a topic of conversation for the past few months, but y'all just had a vow renewal. This is what I'm saying. Like, a lot of times people think having a baby gonna save the marriage, because maybe at one point in a relationship having the baby kind of brought you guys together, and now they think, okay, having a baby gonna do it, or renewing the vows they're gonna make us remember. When the soul ain't right and when God is not in the union, when you've let clout, money, fame, all the devilish sins, when you let that take lead over your union, it's going to allow the devil to get in. It's going to. You got to put God first. You got to put God first. God has to be first in the marriage, in the union. God first. You both have to be on the same page with God. A wife can't. What did it say? What did I say earlier in the video? Now I done lost it. But like I say, one person, y'all can run this video back. One person can't follow God and the other one don't. Because it's a hierarchy. It's a chain of command. It's a chain of command. It's a chain of command. And wife follows husband, but husband is supposed to be following Christ. And you're supposed to teach your wife to follow Christ through you. Even with one of the little young boys, young fellas that I watch, just like he told, I don't know if his wife is so godly like him, but he told his wife to fast, and she listened to him because she know her husband. She listened to her husband because they married. Jalen, I love Jalen. But she listened to her husband. Her husband said, the Lord said that you need to fast for 3 days. And she listened to her husband because she know her husband is following Christ. She can see by the decisions that her husband makes that he's following Christ. And even with that, we can't, I always say you can't idolize and you can't, everything that glitters ain't gold, and we all fall short. But the overall, just off of that, with him, they doing their testimony about the fasting, and he told his wife that the Lord said she needs to fast, and she did it. And that's how they got their baby, because she was having a hard time having her baby with her husband. And they wanted a baby. And she said the Lord said you need to fast. And then a month later, they said she fasted November. Her husband, Jalen, told her to fast in November. In December, on the pregnancy stick, she was pregnant because she listened to her husband and fasted for 3 days. You see what I'm saying? Because he listened to the Lord. He's following the Lord, though. You can't expect your wife to follow you and listen to you when you're not. Who are you following? You want to follow the internet guys. You want to follow your homeboys. That's not how that works. So, yeah, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later because these kids up and getting all rowdy and stuff. So, I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces.